Buddy to DCS 2021, the light version. This afternoon we're having Don Sherman, 50 years as an automotive writer. He's going to be talking to us about his experiences with the DeLorean Motor Company and specifically his relationship with John DeLorean.
So let me say it's a pleasure and an honor to be here, surrounded by all this car enthusiasm. It's hard to find these days, but it's definitely present and accounted for. So my relationship with John Z, he was a bit aloof, let me use that word, at the press launch, and really didn't spend a lot of time in the thick of it. He knew we were busy gathering information and first driving impressions and photographs, so he kind of let us get that accomplished as well. If you go to the collection next door, you'll see a photograph of me and John Z that I've donated, and I have a copy of that, which I'll, of course, keep and treasure forever. But Car and Driver, I worked for Car and Driver at the time. We published 4 stories about DeLorean. I wrote the second and third. The second was lots of information without the driving impressions, including great photos of the X-shaped chassis. The third was promptly after the driving impressions, and the fourth was a comparison test with a Corvette, a Ferrari, a Porsche 911, and a 280ZX Turbo. And if you recall that, it was a bit of a mixed bag in that since we wanted to get our story in print as soon as possible, we didn't wait for the press cars to be handed out. We found a local Detroit area owner who was kind enough to loan us his DeLorean for all photography and testing.
Would you have thought that the car would be as famous as it would be nowadays had it not been for Back to the Future?
Definitely not. It'd be revered, and I think owners would take pride in it. But that movie made the car immortal because it reached throughout society, to kids, to anybody who saw it. Many people have seen it lots of times. I believe there were 2 sequels to it. And there are precious few cars you could rate as immortal that will always be remembered, but the DeLorean definitely is. Anniversary story to Haggerty. They need to celebrate that. The coming issue is all Viper for only 30 years. And the question came up yesterday about how many Vipers, and I looked up the answer to that. There were 31,000 Vipers manufactured, sold globally in 5 generations. So it's more than DeLoreans, but not as interesting, I think. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Don.
Either way you want it.
Everybody, welcome to another episode of DeLorean Tech.
I'll go with you.
That's all right. I want you to come with me.
Oh, good.
So Don Sherman is going to drive a DeLorean. How long has it been since you've driven a DeLorean?
40 years.
40 years. Hey.
Last was in Northern Ireland. No, it was in the comparison test we did in Michigan in early fall of 1981.
Wow. Nice. And here you are, 40 years later.
Here I am.
All right. And it started, yes. Don Sherman has written numerous articles on the DeLorean for Car and Driver magazine back in the early 80s. And we're here at DCS 2021, and we just finished the presentation. And now he's going to go for a drive in the DeLorean. So he owns a 2020 Corvette Stingray. So he just took the car out for a little bit.
Is he doing a little quasi acceleration
A
test?
little bit. So, being the first time in 40 years he's driven a DeLorean, we're gonna get his reaction here. What's your impression?
Most interesting car I drove all day.
There you go.
And the interscale match for my Corvette, which is the only other car I drove today. So I'm very happy to have had the opportunity, and it's reinforced some opinions, and it's a car I would love to own someday.
Nice.
Definitely.
Nice. Awesome.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Our pleasure. Here we go.
Clap,
I'm
clap,
just
clap,
some
clap.
stuff to you.
Very much